Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. Now, ages ago, I did a video on the death of the compilation album, and we could say that this can all be boiled down into one word called streaming. The playlist has replaced the compilation album. We no longer need official compilations put out by record companies or by artists because record companies and artists have the ability to make playlists on Spotify's and Whatify's and all the rest of it. But regular human beings like you and me and your sister can do the same thing. And some of us even do it, make playlists, that is. Now, I will talk about a compilation album today because I think that it is uniquely cohesive without going overboard. And that's a very interesting thing to do when we're talking about compilation albums. And this is the best of Simple Minds, originally released in 2001, a compilation odyssey. And it was released, I think, a year or two later on the SACD format. It's pretty good sounding if you're into SACDs. Now, the reason that I like this is because while it doesn't focus too heavily on their sort of new wavy experimental first few albums, it really captures their more well-known stuff in a really well presented, really well mastered album. Now, Simple Minds, like I said, they began as sort of a very almost lo-fi experimental new wavy band. But by the time you get to 1982 and their album New Gold Dream comes out, they're a power 80s synth band. Toe tapping, but the music is very compelling. It has a rock edge to it, possibly because of the prominent guitar that bands like Depeche Mode in the early days and in their middle career conspicuously avoided. In many ways, they're sort of U2 meets Depeche Mode, but very unique. Their lyrics sometimes uncomprehensible, which is okay. I like Steely Dan as much as the next guy. But like I said, their stuff was rocky, but very synth driven as well. And like I said, their three sort of most well-known albums, I would say there was New Gold Dream. I'm not going to read the subtitle. Sparkle in the Rain, and Once Upon a Time. So between 82 and 85, they really had a great go. And this album, really, this compilation is divided into two discs. The second disc from the second half of their career, which was again kind of a return to introspection, but with more of a stadium rock sound, where disc one features what I would call their golden years. Again, because of the sometimes incomprehensible lyrics, they're not always accessible, but the music itself, while surprisingly interesting, is very accessible, whether you're from the more rock side of things or the more new wave side of things. So, in a rare move, I'll recommend a compilation album to you if you still are into that type of thing. As always, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.